Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Super excited to have you here with us and super excited to be introducing our artist this afternoon who's so graciously joined us. But before I do, wanted to get a little action in the chats here. Would love if anybody would love to know, you already writing poetry? Do you want to write poetry? Just let us know sort of where you're at with that. I think it'd be really interesting. Appreciate you taking the time for this awesome session here today. My name's Whitney. I'm part of the events team. And we always love it when you guys join us for these. So thank you so much again for coming out today. And I'm going to share a little bit of Punkin's bio. Okay, so our guest artist here joining us today is Punkin from Pluto. We're so honored to have her. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on her bio here. Punkin from Pluto began her career in her hometown of Houston, Texas, and is regarded as one of the best live R&B soul talents in the city. If you've seen her perform, can attest to this. She's very, very gifted. She has graced the stages at popular cultural venues such as the Red Cat Jazz Cafe, Ovations, the Breakfast Club, and Miles J. In addition to hosting the Fourth Sunday Set, she also served as host and correspondent for the Poetry Lounge TV show on lionitv.com. Punkin now resides in Atlanta, Georgia, taking her career to new heights. So far, she's performed at hotspots in Atlanta, such as Apache Cafe, Cat's Cafe, and Sweet George's Juke Joint, to name a few. As a thespian, Punkin can be seen co-starring with Billy D. Williams, Leon Shirley Murdoch, and Elise Neal in 3 Ways to Get a Husband, a stage play by I'm Ready Productions. She made her acting debut in the award-winning independent film Deadly Words, written and produced by A.B. Harris of Maverick Entertainment. Though performing on stage is Punkin's forte, she's also had her share of behind-the-scenes experience. Punkin has performed roles including casting director for 3 Wise Men and radio show host for the Punkin from Pluto show, which had millions of listeners. Above and beyond Punkin's admiration for performing is her love for working with children. She's participated in many programs that help kids get in touch with their creative writing abilities. In a program entitled Turn Hate into Hope, which took place at the Houston Holocaust Museum, Punkin assisted students with writing and performing poems of their own. Punkin knows that she is a movement by herself, but a force when she's united with all. And we're so lucky to have her today teaching us a little more about spoken word and poetry. And it's my honor to introduce Punkin from Pluto.
Hello, hello, hello. Woo! Hi, I'm so excited to be here. That was a great introduction too, by the way, Whitney. I like that. You know, I kind of forgot some of those things. You know, time has been passing and I've been doing this for a very long time. Spoken word and poetry is, well, and singing is my life. I fell in love with it many, many moons ago. I don't want to tell my age, but I was probably about 7 or 8 years old in the tub, singing and giving words. And one day my mother yelled out loud, "Shut up." And I knew then I was going to do this for a long time. So I've been in love with spoken word and poetry for a long time, and it is an honor to be here to do this workshop. And I believe that spoken word is not just for entertainers. Poetry is not just for entertainers. It is words from the soul. And I believe anybody can write poetry. Anybody can write poetry. And I think now during these times, poetry is the best form of releasing. Like, we're spending a lot of time at home with our families, or maybe away from work, or we've had a whole lot of experiences that has put something in our soul to make us want to write. And so I'm hoping I got writers out there. If you are a poet or a closet poet, because some of us are poets in our soul, I'm asking you guys today to bring something from the soul. Bring something from the soul. I want you to write what your soul tells you to write. But I will challenge you today, okay? So with that being said, before I begin to challenge you, I would like to perform, right? At least you can see how I do it. Poetry has so many styles, and it has so many different forms it could take. And so I want to give an example, of course, of how I do it. And this is just one example. I am a singer and spoken word artist, so I will be singing and doing poetry, which is my favorite way to do this. Now, I may have a few poems that I don't do with singing, but usually I'm singing. So I hope you like my voice. But it goes along with my poetry, okay? So my name is Punkin from Pluto, the original peach biscuit. I know, we'll talk about that. But before we do, I want to perform a little spoken word piece for you. And then I'll give you a backstory about Punkin from Pluto, and then we can get into this poetry day that is coming up. And then next month we have Poetry Month. So we have a lot to talk about. And I have a lot that I want to say. And I hope you guys are going to be attentive and enjoy this as much as I do. So first piece, I am doing self-preservation. All right, here we go. One day I was feeling all down, was having bad thoughts like I won't be around, was thinking maybe I should get out of this game. Nobody wanna hear me sing. I thought that nobody even knew my name. Maybe because it was I didn't lose weight. I had failed and I felt so ashamed. But my music brought out everything. But then my mama said, don't you dare think that way. Then my sisters told me not to lose my faith. They told me, get on your knees and let God lead the way. I closed my eyes and I heard a voice say, it told me to stand up. If you wanna be free, it told me, reach out so you can catch your dreams. It told me, cry out if you wanna be heard. It told me, stand up and take heed to my words. Crossing all the sands, counting a many of grains running through your fingers. Walking along the lines of the Nile, watching the sun go down across the skies, tracking the largest fish in the world to all its deep blue wonders, and visualize expanding your mind beyond your level of consciousness. Not even imagining the endings of the stars and taking all that and extending it with the notion that one day we'll be able to move things with our minds and unwind as gods, kings, and queens for the rest of our duration. And you still can imagine what it's like to be a woman. Self-preservation, temptation, exploitation, communication, education, meditation, a slave nation, incarceration, love gestation, procreation, elevation to the next level. I'm telling you, no one could do it better. Call names the imagination can't even comprise. Surprised by the liberal verbiage coming from their tight lips, angry words that degrade the strongest, cripple the weakest, and piss off the meekest. Feeling righteous in the preparation of poetic flirtation, and in the justifications, in the humiliations of a woman's open eyes, wide shut, stuck in a genetic slavery that has a feeling cuffed. So before you judge me, look through your mama's eyes and see what you can see. Because she is the same as me on a different journey that worked for she. Compromising her integrity for a hot $20, followed by subconscious stares coming from everyone inside of her mind. Time for some is an eternity for many. Plenty will need it, only a few will get it. That's the mental stimulation that comes with spiritual education, which is what we all need to make it on this planet. And you thought you knew what being a woman really means. You're far from judging me, tugging me back and forth to please thee. My mission My mission? My mission is to bring gods into this world. Don't misperceive me. Some do. Some do get lost on a journey through time as is seen clearly. I seem to be merely a woman sitting before you, willing to bear fruit, but close your eyes and visualize where I'm a queen sitting on my throne next to my king. And my house is a castle where all the crusaders will be. To save the world, you and me. And you thought you knew what being a woman really means. Stand up if you wanna be free, it told me. Reach out so you can catch your dreams, it told me. Cry out if you wanna be heard, it told me. Stand up and take heed to my words. Peace. All right, guys, that was my first piece, self-preservation. I'm not sure, but I would like to know what you think. Tell me a little something. If not, I would like to say this to you. In spoken word, as I perform in many, many venues, there has been moments, many moments where, you know, the audience is just there, engulfed into the words, and they're not 100%. They're not sure what to do or what to say. So if you are here and there are messages, chat with me. Let me know if you know what to do during spoken word. Let me see. Let me see. I see yays. While amazing, yes, amazing, yay! Yes, snaps, yes, Whitney. That's what I'm talking about. So I was going to say that. So for all of you out there who not sure, in the poetry lounges, we snap, right? Or we clap. So in the chat, I would like to see your snap. So just snap, 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 or clap, 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 clap. Now that's how we find out who is talking, who's not. I know that we will have some introverts on here. So if you are an introvert, this is the greatest time for you, okay? You can type in your snap. If you are an extrovert, you can snap, send pound signs, stars, all of that. You do not have to be silent. Speak your truth, okay? So if you are enjoying the talk, please be sure, if you are enjoying the workshop, please be sure to go in the chat and communicate with me. Let me know, what do you think? How are you feeling? If you have any questions about this, about the workshop and the presentation, please be sure to conversate with me. This can be interactive. I'm sure of it, okay? Okay, so self-preservation was inspired by several things. So when it comes to spoken word, or writing or poetry, there has to be inspiration. We have to be inspired. And I can say we've had a lot of inspiration over this time. So for me, self-preservation came from being judged and needing to see my own self through the mirror and talk to my own self and not worry about what people think. I had to focus on what I think and how I felt about my experiences and not worry about being judged. So when I started to write, you know, being very young, I didn't have a lot of experience, so I wasn't writing about those things. But as life challenged me, I decided to write more. And so I had a lot of challenges that put me in a position, you know, to fight with the pen, right? To grow with the pen, to see myself with the pen. And I vowed never to take any of it to a stage because I had stage fright. who knew, right? And so, so writing was, it was my closet, but it was also my mirror, and it was my opportunity to say the things that I wanted to say or to express myself. And, you know, even at some point, even not being able to share at that time, coming to a place where, you know, I could share it, I would have never known that this was going to be my story realistically. But I'm glad I wrote and was able to express myself. So self-preservation was about the struggle for me as a young mother, for me having a young mother, a single parent, and all the challenges and the experiences. And ironically, with this is Women's Month, and this piece was about, you know, before you judge the woman, before you judge the mother, before you judge the sister, before you judge us, walk in our shoes. You can't possibly imagine every story. So don't judge so coarsely, right? And crossing all the sands, counting the many of grains running through your fingers, walking along the lines of the Nile, watching the sand go down across the skies, tracking the largest fish in the world. Like, that is like that's literally, you have to use your imagination, right? You go on this journey with me, you are in this story, and you still, as much as that is, you still couldn't imagine what it's like to be a woman, right? And so my struggles in those moments was my inspiration to speak. And some of the words that I used, some of the storylines truly was my own story. And in some places I pull from other stories. And that's what you can do when it comes to spoken word or writing and poetry. You can pull from many different spaces. And there are many types of ways to do that. Punkin from Pluto came from, I was born the day before Halloween. And Pluto is my planetary sign. My father called me Punkin since I came into the world. I was born the day before Halloween. So Punkin worked, right? From Pluto, because Pluto is my planetary sign as a Scorpio. So it makes sense. So I couldn't use my actually government name, as we say, because I didn't think it had flair. So Punkin was the name of choice, which was kind of talked over amongst friends. The original Peach Biscuit came from my manager, who, well, he thought it would be a great marketing tool, but I had a good friend. I dressed very vintage, and he would call me Peach Biscuit. And so my manager said, so wonderful. So I made a song of it, and he was like, you know what? You are the original Peach Biscuit. So Punkin from Pluto, the original Peach Biscuit is the name, right? And so that too was inspiration. So I actually have songs and other people singing my name. So spoken word can be very vast. And so I tell you that to say that you can be as creative as you want when it comes to writing. These times lately has put us in so many different spaces to express ourselves, and a lot of us don't, or we can't. And poetry has been a movement for so many years. For when I say so many years, I can't even begin to, I'm talking about years like, we know, 1800s, 1600s, 1700s, you know. This is nothing new is under the sun with spoken word and poetry. Poetry, this is a time-honored entertainment. It is. And so as I was going through what I would introduce today and the different forms of poetry, I just thought about the poets that inspired me. And I won't talk about all the poets, I won't, but I will talk about Maya Angelou, who, of course, we know, phenomenal woman, was a piece that is spoken by so many people. The Zora Neale Hurston, I received a Zora Neale Hurston award, and she was known for her gripping poetry. And I don't make the comparison at all. I know that what I bring is an individual thing, and there's no other me. There's just me. And so I want you to know that what you do too is going to be original and is going to be just you, right? There's no better you than you. So these were my influences. And there are so many different types of writing styles. I mean, for me, I love rhyme and I love free verse, and I like haikus, okay? So I'm gonna talk to you about haikus. I'm also gonna talk to you about free verse and about villanelle. Now, villanelle is rhythm. It has a lot to do with rhythm. So the first one I want to talk about is haiku. Now, haiku is my favorite, and I think it's one of the most challenging, honestly, because a haiku is a 3-line poetic form originating in Japan. The first line has 5 syllables. The second line has 7 syllables, and the third line has 5 syllables, right? And so the words are not, I was trying to think of the words are, for me, you don't have to, you can use 7 words with 1 syllable, or you can use 3 words with 7 syllables, right? And so haiku, I challenged myself to write some haikus because I was coming on here and I like haiku so much. I wanted to push the haiku. So I'm going to start off talking about the haiku, and then I will go into free verse, and then I will go into vanilla and some of the examples that I have for that, okay? So I wrote a couple of haikus, and later on we will talk about what will inspire you and how you would write. I personally, for me, prefer free verse and villanelle, which is fun because I like to rhyme. But I challenged myself with the haiku, and I want you to challenge yourself too. There is a definition that I thought would be that I could have a little bit more clarity. So usually the first 2 lines are in a haiku will carry the same subject matter. And then the third one will be different, but bind. It would bind to the first 2 lines. So the first haiku that I have here that I wrote is stars live in the sky, opening up to dreams. Water ripples back. That's my haiku, okay? The second haiku is leaves crunch beneath shoes, toes follow with excitement, sirens start blaring. Leaves. Okay, so those are the 2 that I came up with. And the interesting thing is that they popped up in my mind very quickly. And I was so excited because I I liked haikus, but I really never thought I could write them. I don't know, maybe wisdom was the thing that brought it, right? So I have some famous haikus, okay? Those were my haikus. I have some famous haikus by Matsu Basho, and it's called The Pond. And it says, an old silent pond, a frog jumps into the pond, splash, silence again, the old pond. All right, that is by Matsu Basho. Okay, the second haiku is by Kobashi Isa. I know these names. Kobasha Isa. The world of a world of dew, a world of dew, and within every dewdrop, a world of struggle. That was the second haiku. All right, so those are haikus. First line, 5 syllables. Second line, 7 syllables. Third line, 5 syllables. I challenge you to bring me something to write a haiku. If any one of you out there are interested in haikus, if you've ever written a haiku, please put it in the chat. I would like to hear what you have to say about that. All right, so our second is going to be free verse. Now, an example of free verse, I'm going to give you an example of free verse. Let's see what we got in the chat. Snap, snaps. Okay, it says, hi all, just a reminder. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading. This is your snaps. I love it, I love it, I love it. I love it. Okay, so our second verse is going to be, our second form is going to be free verse. Now, I did use free verse from other poets, just because I know that that's a direct and sure example, okay? So the free verse example that I have is The First Time We Kissed by Kelly Roper. I really enjoyed it, so I thought I might bring some romance into it, right? So The First Time We Kissed, and this is by Kelly Roper, and this is free verse. Says, nervously, I stood there under the porch light as you smiled at me and moved in closer. You took me in your arms and my heart began to thud so loudly. I was sure you could hear it, but were pretending you didn't. You moisten your lips, look deeply into my eyes, and then gently press your lips to mine. A moment's pause, and you touch my lips with yours again. A whisper of a kiss that promised more to come. We kissed again, and during this kiss, I felt like I had finally come home. Looking back, I know I was right as we kissed goodnight and I turned out the light. Isn't that nice? That is a free verse. Now, I'm only giving these forms as a point of reference for inspiration, right? And to let you know that these are the forms that I feel that are easier to write in. It's not a lot of framework, right? And you can just flow from your soul and flow from your spirit and what you want to say, okay? So the next one is, the next verse, the next form is villanelle. I just like the name. My middle name is Neville, so Villanelle sounds very nice. So Villanelle is another poetry form, and I like Villanelle because it has rhyme. I'm a rhyme girl. I love rhyme. So this is inspired by Walt Whitman. This is his Villanelle, and it's called After the Sea Ship. After the Sea Ship. Okay. After the sea ship, after the whistle winds, after the white gray sails, taut to their spares and ropes, below, amid, below, a myriad waves, hastening, lifting up their necks, tending in ceaseless flows toward the track of the ship, waves of the oceans, bubbling and gurgling, blackly prying, waves undulating, I can't even say the word, undulating waves, liquid, uneven, emulous waves, toward the whirling current, laughing and buoyant with curves, where the great vessels sailing and tracking displaced surface. That is After the Sea Ship. I almost didn't make it through the ship and I almost rocked my boat. So that was a Villanelle. And with that being said, those are the forms that one inspire me, and I feel that are a little easier to write in the flow. But for me, I think the most inspirational is the free verse. When you're able to just do your own thing. I'm kind of a rebellion, right? I like to do my own thing. I like to just flow from the heart, and sometimes it's very short, sometimes it's very long, and sometimes it's a song. And I feel like that when you're writing, you should be inspired to write as you want, because it is the best way to feel, it's the best way to remember, and it is the best way to leave a memory. So I would like to give you guys a writing assignment. And this writing assignment is supposed to challenge you. We have been through a pandemic, and it has been something that we'll talk about to our children's children. And we have been left with memories and experiences, and challenges, good, bad, and indifferent. There are things that we feel so easy, that are so easy to write about, right? Some of the things that are, more surface, where we are not so vulnerable. But I would like to challenge you to write from a space of vulnerability. Write about the thing that you're not so comfortable about, that in a space that maybe you want to see yourself, or you want to put people in the position to see themselves. But writing how you really feel from a place that challenges you, and not from a place that seems so easy to write from. Now, I can't tell you how honest to be with that. Only you can. But I would like for you to write from a space that challenges you to think, whether it is about your family, whether it is about work, whether it is about your friends, whether it's about your love life, whether it's about work, school, whatever your community, the society in which we live, whatever those things are that challenge you, the things that you can't write about the most, that you would dare not speak out loud. Yeah, those pieces. And it doesn't have to be very long. It could be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or as long as you need it to be to express yourself. This writing will be asked of you guys again. They will ask you to present, but I'm asking you if when I really would like for you to volunteer. I don't want to just pick out anybody. I would rather our extroverts just come on out and share your piece with us after you write. So we're going to take a moment to write. We're going to take a moment to be inspired. And then we're going to come back. And I would like for you to share with me what you are inspired to speak, what you are inspired to say, or what you are inspired to sing. I'm open to it all. So the assignment here is to go take a moment to find your space in a place that challenges you, not in a place that is comfortable, in a place where you could be vulnerable, in a place where you could offer passion, and a place where it can create humility. And I can promise you, no matter how many lines you write, it's going to be a very powerful piece. Okay. So we're going to step away for a moment, give you an opportunity to write, and come back and let us know what you come up with. I'm very, very excited, and I look forward to seeing you in just a moment. Okay, we are back. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I know you poets, inner poets, and outer poets have come up with some special writing. I know it was not a lot of time, but what you have to share, I would be excited to hear. Okay. This is just to give a bit of yourself, and I've been given a bit of myself. So I think it'd be wonderful to make the exchange. Jennifer, I do want to say that I thought that piece was going to have more rhyming in it. I don't know, maybe I was asleep when I pulled that piece. But hopefully we can give you something that is more to that, is tailored more to the villanelle. I think I will a little bit later as we close. But if you guys, please raise your hand. I know there's a raise your hand, or just put in the chat that you are ready to share your piece with us as much as you have. I would be delighted to hear it. Is that a yes? Is that a snap? Is that a raising of the hand? Who do I have? Let's see. Is there anyone out there that would like to share? What you got? Yes, Jennifer, come through, Jennifer. I'm excited. I feel like you are an extrovert. I can just feel you. I know you have something. Yes, Jennifer, I can feel it.
Okay. I named this poem Tell Me About Yourself. There's one question that stumps everyone when they meet someone new. So tell me about yourself. A simple question that never has a simple answer. The one question you could ask everyone in the world and not one person's answer will ever be the same. So tell me about yourself. What do I say? What should I say? Yes, I can tell you the black and white. I'm 23, born and raised in the Bronx, New York. I love my mom and lost my dad when I was 13. I have a little sister and a college degree. But does that really answer your question? Does that explain me? And that's all the time I had.
Like snap, 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 snaps. Yes, I love it. Vulnerability. You told us about yourself. The rhythm, the repetitiveness. Yes, I love it. Sounds like you like to rhyme. I like it. Is this your first piece? Or your second, third? Are you a poet?
I actually used to write a lot back in grade school. I could
Mm-hmm.
have gotten published. My teacher was like really wanted to. She knew what authors really wanted to publish my work, but I was shy and it was personal, so I didn't do any of that. But I want to get back into it because I know it's still there somewhere.
Still there somewhere. It's there. That was amazing.
Thank you.
And you spoke it so eloquently. It's seated in you, it's in your soul. And that was a great pull. I love that it came from different spaces. Tell me about yourself. Like I was on an adventure already. I was on a date. I was
Yeah.
sitting amongst friends. Like, tell me about yourself. I was in a seminar. Like, you took me there very
Yeah.
quickly,
Yeah.
and it was very imaginative. It already flowed, and I loved it. Thank you very much for
Thank
sharing.
you. Thank
I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of that. So please share that with me, okay?
Okay, will do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So, Miss Jennifer gave it to us. Now, is there anyone else out there who would like to share? As you can see, it doesn't take a long time, but just to be able to express yourself and to make that exchange and to share. I mean, she told us a lot about her in a short time frame, about her mother and her father, about having a degree. Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer. And how she could have been published as a young child, and how she's ready to open herself back up and put her in a space of vulnerability and share her work with us, which I think is absolutely amazing, right? That is so nice. Anyone else? Any takers? Any takers? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Well, I'll do the do 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 do. All right, okay. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, okay, okay. So let's see here. If there is no one else at this time that would like to share, we are winding it down, right? But the thing is, everyone who watches, everyone who is participating, we are looking forward to you sharing your piece and letting us know how you really feel, sharing yourself with us, being vulnerable, an extension of yourself. And these times, this is great therapy. This is a great time to share, and you just may tap into something you didn't give the light of day that absolutely should see the sun, okay? So I look forward to coming back. I look forward to being a part of Poetry Month is next month. Yeah, National Poetry Month is next month. And Poetry Day is on the 21st. So I'm excited to hear about what's coming up, and I'm excited to be able to be a part of your sharing, and hopefully I can continue to share with you. I do have a piece that wonderful. Hold on a second. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 things at once, and I'm not really that good at it. Absolutely. So, with that being said, I have a final piece. And this piece actually was literally a poetry, just straight poetry piece. I wrote the words. And so this, I'm gonna tell you where it was inspired from. And then I'm gonna tell you the piece, because that's the fun part. When you're able to get to a space where you are vulnerable enough to speak your story and then write about it and then share it, you know? So I'm gonna speak my story. Then I am going to perform it. I'm going to share it with you. So specifically, this piece is called Red Hair. And so, as you can tell, I've been coloring. I should have been born a blonde, to be honest, but I've been coloring for a very long time. And so red hair, blonde hair, red hair has been my favorite look. It's my favorite look. And Lucille Ball is one of my favorite actresses, right? She's one besides Audrey Hepburn and so on and so forth, but she's my favorite redhead, right? So, you know, they say blondes have more fun. I'm like, I don't know, these redheads got us, Julia Roberts, so on and so forth. So, anywho, so this story was actually inspired by a moment. It was a time when I took my young daughter, to the hospital, and we were getting ready to leave, and we were wrapping things up. And I went to the ladies' room, and as I came out, people were looking and staring, and I was like, what are they looking at? They just, my red hair, honey, I had my look, I had my style. So I just assumed that they were just, looking at me. Why not? So this piece was inspired from that moment, okay? So follow very well. I did write it, but then I decided to sing it as a song. So hope you get it. Here we go. Chemistry and charm sound the alarm when they saw my new red hair. Men swear and women declare when they saw my new red hair. People share, point, and stare when they saw my new red hair. I qualify, and I don't know why, but I think it's my new red hair. I got showers and special flowers when they saw my new red hair. Games of chance that I never win, I won because of my new red hair. If I'd have known red hair set the tone, I'd been had me some red hair. So as the crowd forms, as I walk along, turning heads and singing my song, clenching my purse, my thoughts I search. Lucille Ball must have knew it all, 'cause she wore it red and she wore it proud. And I can't forgive Miss Mary now. Miss Mary J. Blige, she's called. She rocked it so well, she should have wrote her a song. And then a lady grabs my arm and she says, I hate to mention, but your attention is coming from your skirt. And since you got holes in your clothes, that red hair thing doesn't work. She's a hater, y'all. Peace. So the fool, she's a hater, y'all. So the full story of that is, I didn't sing very loud because I want it to be too bad. But the full story about that is that when I came out of the restroom, my pantyhose were stuck in, my skirt was stuck inside my pantyhose. Yeah. So that's why everybody was staring at me. And you know how you can think you are so cute? Yes. You know how you think you are so cute and you are so into yourself and you thinking you are everything. You know how it feels when you know you look good and you feel good. And then, you know, something brings you right back to some humility. You can put it into a song, I'm telling you. I was cute. I was cute. And not all the time people are staring because they're being nice, right? But she wanted to let me know, honey, okay, you cute, but really, your skirt and your pantyhose, honey. That's why they're looking at you. But you have to laugh at yourself sometimes, you know, so there has to be all types of poetry. So don't just, you know, I am challenging you, yes, to be vulnerable, to put some things out there, but you choose how you want to tell your story. You choose what rhythms you want to put it in. You choose how you want people to feel when you tell your story in your poem, whether it is a haiku, whether it is free verse, or whether it is a villanelle. I can say it right now. Either way, villanelle. Either way, however you choose, there are so many forms that you can write, but the best way to write is from your soul. I am Punkin from Pluto. And that concludes my portion of the workshop. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so exciting. I look forward to seeing you all. I look forward to seeing you all again. And I am looking forward to seeing and hearing. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing your pieces and seeing your pieces and being a part of what that looks like for you. You can at any time reach me on Punkin from Pluto, and that is on every platform that there is: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Yes, Punkin from Pluto, not pumpkin like the jack-o'-lantern, but Punkin, Punkin from Pluto, okay? And that is Instagram, YouTube, all of the social medias, Facebook, and that's where you can find me. Thank you guys so much for having me. I look forward to seeing you next time.